Good evening, Reds. Welcome to the therapy session of Man United fans feeling angry and disappointed after losing 1-0 to Spurs. It was a toothless game. We were sloppy. We had no urgency, it felt like. We kept a hell of a lot of possession. I think Spurs had 27% possession. But we couldn't exploit that. I would say Postecoglou parked the bus in the second half. Amorim, not his best match from a tactical point of view. I think he could have done better. A lot of things went on. We have some footage, try to analyze everything that happened in the game. Losing 1-0 to Spurs, Tottenham is not the best thing, But people, let's try to keep it civilized. Let's not try to kill each other. Think positive as long as it's possible. We have been down this path before. We have lost finals. Maybe this time it feels a little bit worse because at the end of the worst season in at least the modern history. So we will try to analyze everything. Stay tuned. Please smash the like, subscribe if you're new, and me and Stu will be back after the intro. So see you in a second. Okay, let's do this. I'm not the only one feeling down after this, and I'm sure you're not very happy either, Stu. How do you feel?
No. Lost for words, really, old friend. I was expecting better. From the lads. To not turn up in a final is completely inexcusable. I mean, it really is inexcusable. You could almost tell, actually, you could almost sense in the first half the way that Bruno was gesticulating pretty much from the get-go, the way that Tottenham bullied us again. Højlund completely bullied by two centre-halves, Romero and Van der Ven, and Diallo, in flashes was okay, but couldn't really get the better of his fullback. Porro on the other side. Mount was lost in the first half. Maybe the three in the middle hurt us. There's no two ways about it. But we spoke about it, Jarvis, earlier in the week, on Monday and at the weekend, and we devised a system that would fucking eradicate all of that. We put a simple system in place which would have eradicated it, but it didn't happen. And you've got Onana stuck to his line again, not coming out for crosses, and it winds me up when you see that moron Vicario coming out and claiming crosses, by the penalty spot, and it just winds me up. Brennan Johnson, I didn't think he was great today, and he just gets in and makes a nuisance of himself. And Luke Shaw scores the own goal. I'm so lost for words and I don't want to hear it from them. I turned it off because I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear the nonsense from them, how we've let you down and all of that kind of stuff. I don't want to hear any of that anymore. I've been through heartbreaking FA Cup finals, in 1979. We've lost in Europe. When Barcelona battered us, but at least they battered us. At least they came to play football. We didn't play football. Tottenham didn't play any form of football tonight. They just kicked us. Richarlison got away with murder tonight. Bentancur got away with murder, and they were just pulling us and prodding us. And I always say to my lads when I coach them, and I talk to strikers and I talk to centre halves, and I obviously don't use this phrasing because they're young kids. But when you're a centre half and you've got you're up against a centre forward, you've got to tell him he's a pussy. You've got to make him realise he's weak, and vice versa. When the striker is against Van der Beek, Højlund's got to be calling him, punching him, kicking him, scraping at him, doing everything he can to disrupt him. We just don't do it. We get knocked off the ball very easily. Our brain doesn't function very easily. Our thought processes on occasions is mind-boggling. It just is absolutely mind-boggling that we just didn't see any urgency, and I really am at a loss on what to say. We could pick the game apart all night, Jarvis. We really could completely. We could.
We will do that. We have to pick the game apart. That's why we're here. But I just want to say, Stu, first of all.
Big ups everybody, by the way.
Yeah, I just want to say hi to all the people tuning in, and we have Nash here, we have Mohammed Saki. I think there's 50 people watching right now, so if you haven't smashed the like, help us. I know you're disappointed, but at least give us the credit for being here on a night like this, talking to you guys. This is our church. This is how we heal our hurts, and we will try our best to make this a therapy session for you guys, and maybe we will feel better in an hour, when we have talked everything through. It's the only way. We have Carlos here, we have Andrew Collins, Eduardo Almanza coming in. Big up, good to see you. We have Dan P, Raven Strip, Fred the Red. Raymond Pierce is here. He's not happy, saying it's disgusting. Yeah. It is. And Trevor Wade is here coming in with a comment that say, no matter what way you look at it, Amorim has been a total disaster all season. Remember, we strive for excellence, not mediocrity. He has found us out tonight once again. Up and coming manager, my ass. Okay, Trevor Wade is not happy. And guys, I'm not going to hold you for what you say tonight. We are feeling. Everybody's feeling disappointed, and there's a lot of emotion. So, but I see Rushmano coming in, shocker, no words, and
absolutely.
And Danny B is here, day 147. We have Jay Panda coming in. He's not happy with Mount starting, and Rushmano comes in with the thought, Bruno might as well be sold now. Nothing to play for in a few years. Yeah, that's a decent point.
He didn't want to be there, didn't he? He didn't do anything tonight, Bruno.
Oh, he had a terrible game. And Andrew Collins is effing raging. Spurs didn't even try in the second half because they didn't need to.
100%. 100%.
And Dan P comes in, say they reacted far too late tactically. Yes, I will talk about that. Yeah. And you are right to be furious about Amorim. He's a young, inexperienced manager, and this is what we get. He didn't know how to set up the team perfectly in the final, and at least he should have reacted a little bit sooner, I believe. But yeah, big up, Raymond. Big up. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in. Let's see who else we have. Scipio coming in and say, Amorim out for me, and he isn't out. Yeah. We are reactive tonight, so when maybe tomorrow when we sleep on it a little bit more, we will understand that he hasn't had the backing. No transfer window. He was hardly backed in January, so we will see. We will see, because we know this squad. I said it when we were talking about sacking Ten Hag. I felt that it was not on Ten Hag. It's this group of players. A lot of them are useless. So it's not entirely Amorim's fault, but I think United could have done better. We have Rasmus in the house. We have Crazy Eddie. Big up, Crazy Eddie. Good to see you.
Yeah, big up.
Jamie.
Raven Strip.
Yeah, a lot of you legend tuning in. Even Jale Malmin is here tonight. Big up, Jale Malmin from Norway.
Big up,
big up, big up. So yeah,
yeah, exactly.
Okay, let me just focus and let's go to the stats of the game and talk a little bit. Hold on. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, you can see this. Yep, here we go. So the stats of the game: 1-0 Spurs. Brendan Johnson scoring right before halftime. Spurs had 3 shots.
He's not got the goal, has he? He didn't touch it.
I think, yeah, I don't know.
Don't tell me they credited him with the goal. Yeah. Fucking hell.
So Spurs, they had 1.01 expected goals. We had 0.85. So, we couldn't create any big chances, but we created a lot of shots. 16 shots, 6 on target, 3 big chances, and 3 big chances missed. We had 431 passes against Spurs' 115. So it tells you a little bit about the game. And when you see the possession stats, they had 27% and we had 73%. But I think Spurs were okay with us holding on to the ball. They parked the bus. Amorim, Postecoglou parked the bus, and yeah, I think he was quite happy. So Stu, what do you read from these stats? Toothless FC against one of the worst defenses in the Premier League.
Yeah, absolutely toothless. We allowed Spurs to dictate the game to us, and we both said last week we must dictate the game to Spurs. No messing around. It's a one-off. These players have got to go in and they've got to start showing something, and they've showed 0 tonight. Tottenham aren't great. Vicario is not a great goalkeeper. No. Romero is a poor centre half, and yet we made him look brilliant tonight. Porro, we pushed him back as far as we could tonight. It was okay. I'm glad that we did, but we just don't know how to penetrate. I just don't understand it. When a team is defending the box, you need to push everything in there to get a penalty. Yeah. That's what you have to do. You get the ball, you give it to Ahmad, and you cut inside that box. I promise you now, somebody's going to tumble you. But we didn't do that. Ahmad just didn't do that. He played everything outside the box tonight. I don't recall him really getting in properly, maybe once or twice, but it's not good enough. You've got to force that foul. Romero's going to give you a penalty like that.
Yeah.
Because he tugs at you. Van der Ven does the same. They tug at you. Porro, we'll fucking tug at you when you're in the box, but we don't do it. These players, I just don't understand why did they not want Champions League football? As Amorim said,
the occasion was too big for them. I think a lot of them looked nervous.
Yeah, as Amorim said to these guys, look, guys, we can't win tonight. We don't want Champions League. We can't compete in Europe next year. We're not even doing Europe next year. Forget it. We're done.
Yeah.
We're done. Yeah. The pressure now. I mean, I've always said this, guys. There's no pressure in football for me. Pressure is not being able to pay your mortgage or eat or put clothes on your children. That's pressure. Football's not fucking pressure. They ain't way too much money to worry about pressure. But fuck me, if I'm Amorim, I honestly, I'm taking the fucking grenade and I'm just chucking it in the fucking dressing room, and I'm letting it go, and I'm going to blow the fucking lot of them up because I don't know what those players are going to say to him, and I don't know what he's going to say to them that he probably hasn't said 100 million times already this season. He got it wrong tonight, Jarvis. Now I backed Amorim, I have, but he's got it wrong. I'm not saying what I propose would have worked, but it would have fucking done a much better job of curtailing Tottenham than what we did tonight. We just toothless, spineless, no aggression. Where's the absolute will to win? Brendan Johnson, whether he scored or not, he absolutely right, I'm getting in there. I don't care if Anana's going to come and clatter me, if Slabby comes and clatters me, Mazzari clatters me. I don't care. I'm going in there, and I'm going to make something happen. And he did. And I don't know why we can't do that. Why was Hoyland on his fucking face in 30 seconds in the game? He should have been dropping the elbow into Van der Ven. Here, mate, that's what you're going to get tonight. Give me back. Oh, and Porro, I'm coming for Romero, I'm coming for you next. Back into them. He's a big lad, he's strong, but after 30 seconds, he's on, moaning.
He's always on his ass. That's
his
Hoyland.
Boot came off. Ref, my boot's off. Shut the fuck up. Put your boot back on and go and all right, which one of you took my boot off? I'm going to have you. I don't see. Get a yellow card. Do anything. And we haven't done that. Bruno was whinging from minute one tonight. His arms were in the fucking air, moaning and whinging. Instead of taking control of the game like we need him to do, I just don't know where to start, Jarvis. I could go forever. I just don't know where to start. For me, Hoyland would have been off at half time. I would have pulled him. Mount, gone, half time. You two. Sorry. No passengers tonight. No passengers. You're gone. Ganacho, you're on. Xerxes or Mainu, whoever, you're on. I'm not interested in anything else. I don't care if you're upset. I don't care if you're going to cry. Whinge or moan. Tough. I'm no passengers now. Get out there and fucking do it. But you know as well as I do, Jarvis, when you've got a team that is playing a low block, you've got to entice them out. And the only way to do that is to fucking hit them head on. Instead of going sideways, fucking hit them head on.
Stu, do you think it surprised Amorim that Postecoglou set up with a low block and tried to hit us on the counter?
It should. Yes, I think it did. A little bit like we surprised Guardiola. But then Guardiola does something about it. You made a point that Postecoglou did something about it. He makes the first sub for a start. I'm sure in this up.
He went to a back five. He put in the what's his name? Dance? No.
Dance on. He didn't play Son.
Dance on. Yeah.
He didn't play Son. He played Richarlison for a reason. Get in there, get in their faces, and disrupt Manchester United. That's all he played Richarlison for. Richarlison did fuck all game apart from kick, pull, scratch. Dominic Solanke, waste of space, even worse than Hoyland, potentially. He did fuck all game. He did nothing. The two centre forwards did nothing. But we allowed Bentancur to use the ball, didn't we? We allowed that to happen. We allowed
But Stu, I just want to say, where's my manners? I see here story comes in and say Angie and Postecoglou impressed me tonight, and yeah, he really did. So
went to win
officially from Tactical Devils. Congratulations, Spurs, with the win. It's
he went to
win in defeat. That's just my thing, and he out smarted Amorim in a way. So
he did. He went to win, Jarvis. He went to win. And he said to those players, whatever happens tonight, whatever happens to me, make sure you come off with your head fucking held high, that you can come up and say that I did everything I can to win that game of football. And they did. Van der Ven, with the Hoyland header. What the fuck's he doing? He never would have done that in any other fucking Premier League game. Wouldn't have bothered. Wouldn't have bothered. But it meant something to him to keep that clean sheet, and it meant something. Just think, fucking Romero, giving Maguire the big one, with about a minute to go. We should have been doing that all game to Romero. He's got a short fuse. You said it yourself, Jarvis.
Yeah.
You said it yourself. He's got a short fuse. Let's get in there. Let's do something.
I want to challenge the Devilish Tacticos, the live chat, and I want you to think of this really thoroughly, and the question for me to you guys, and you can go first, Stu, before we go to the tactics of the game. Where do we go from here? Is it too soon?
For Amorim.
No, to think, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? How
Well,
do we reset and
Jarvis, we're
actually
fucked.
build on this?
Jarvis, we're fucked.
Because we can't crumble in defeat. It's always you have to on and
We
upwards.
are right now. We are fucked as a team, as a unit. We are absolutely fucked. If we get away with anything less than a 3-0 battering by Villa on Sunday, it'd be a miracle. Because Villa are coming to make Champions League football. They have to win. Villa have got no choice. They're going to beat us, and they're going to come and they're going to beat us. And we just can't be fucking bothered to even step onto a football pitch now and try and win a game of football. We are so toothless in attack. It is unreal. Me and Jarvis sent a text to each other on 55 minutes, and the text went back and forth saying, Jarvis said, Stu, I don't see where we're going to score from here. And I turned around and said to Jarvis, the game's over. That was on 55 minutes. It was done. We knew, we could tell. We were just never in a million years going to hit the back of the net. It was never going to ripple because we don't take risks. We don't take chances. We don't go rogue in games of football. We don't do anything to disrupt anybody because it might upset Bruno if you don't pass him the ball, or it might upset fucking Casemiro, or it might upset Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw, let me tell you something about Luke Shaw. He's out injured all fucking season. Okay. Last year virtually, and he plays for England in the final. Okay, Luke Shaw out injured virtually all fucking season for us, and he pops up in the first 11 for the final. What the fuck are we doing? I mean, what the fuck are we doing? Allowing that to happen?
Yeah.
Why are we doing that? Oh, Luke Shaw's got why? Why has he got to play? I would have played Dallo, and you all know my feelings on Dallo. But I would have put Dallo in and put Dorgu on the right, or done something rather than Shaw. Why? He's out all season, plays in 2 finals. What the fuck is going on? I mean, I don't get it. Yoro, I thought, had a shaky game. Bless him. I think he was great. I'm fucking annoyed with Onana to unspeakable lengths right now. I'm just completely unspeakable lengths. We wanted Casemiro and Bruno. And would we have been better off with Agati and Jarvis? It's a question.
I just want to bring up a couple of comments from my question. Where do we go from here? And it was this one. Sorry. Where do we go from here? Ahmad Dispri from Teneram say we sell Bruno. And Danny B say we go from here. It's mid-table FC. And
That's all
I think you're right. Yeah. Coming in 10th next season is probably our target. I know there's no chance that we can compete for top 6. I feel at the current moment. Even Spurs will do better. They will qualify for the Champions League. CH27 come in and say we sell to Qatar now, and from Rosmano we said sell Bruno and Garnacho. It's simple to me.
Big money.
That's the only way forward. Yeah, we need money.
Big money.
Yeah,
big money.
Nash comes in and say we are not fucked. Respectfully, the club wasn't going to get saved by this competition. We need to reset the expectations of this club in order to move forward.
Good point.
Yeah. And Andrew Collins coming in and say, as I said before, this is as bad as it gets. It's rock bottom. Even when we dominated in the 90s and 2000s, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea never sunk to the depth we have. Yeah.
Well, that is equally true.
The only positive I can think of, if we look historically, is Liverpool had a bad season and they lost the Europa League Final first season on the Jurgen Klopp. But they managed to get a way out of there.
Yeah.
So, maybe it's not all bad. Maybe this is just, as he said, rock bottom, and we have to reach rock bottom. Every alcoholics or addicts of something needs to hit rock bottom before they can start healing.
Yeah, but with the greatest respect of everybody, where have we been in 10 years? Nowhere, apart from the odd flash. We've been nowhere. We've just been nowhere in 10 years. We keep changing managers. We keep saying that we've got to do this project, we've got to do that project. You have to draw the line somewhere. You just have to draw the line somewhere, and you've got to say enough is enough. And if the club can't be bothered, fine, there's your line. They've chosen the one side. If they can be bothered, they've chosen another side. But right now, we don't know, where we are. If we finish, well, look, if we finish 11th next year, it's progress. It's just progress, isn't it?
Indeed,
But
it's progress.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm fogged in the brain tonight, and I can't see anything positive whatsoever, and I can't. And maybe I'm just fogged in the brain.
Well, let's try to break down some of the stuff that happens. I'm so focused when I look at a game, especially when a big game like this. I don't get half of it from a tactical point of view, so you have to excuse me if I get things wrong tonight. But what I felt, my intuition told me that in Spurs were really narrow how they defended, and in a way, like in the Chelsea game, in the beginning of the game, Dorgu was the free man. He was the man out. And we started the game before Spurs started with all their crosses from Pedro Porro. We started by shifting the play from Casemiro, shifting the play from one side to the other, and Dorgu was our man out, but we couldn't create anything. We tried to build up on one side with Masraoui, Yoro, Ahmad, Casemiro. Spurs came over to one side, and they exposed the other side open. So we had our chances, but we couldn't do anything. We overhit the pass a couple of times, and I think Dorgu had one cross in front of goal that that could have ended up in something. But again, I think he looks kind of toothless in situations like this. He's not a dribbler. He needs people around him to help him set up 1-2s, and he can run and use his strength, but he's not very good at taking on his man against, for example, Pedro Porro. So we struggled, but we learned this after the Chelsea game. But apparently Amorim didn't learn this. But
No.
Postecoglou did. So Stu, do you agree, or did you see the same thing?
No. Postecoglou saw what Chelsea did to us.
Yeah.
And they went narrow, and by going narrow, they forced us to play wide. And he knows, Postecoglou knows, I'm going to force you to play wide because A, they're not going to attack the diagonal. B, they will not attack the 18-yard box, and C, they'll cross from deep, and there's nobody in there. He knows. He knew all that because that's what we've been doing all season. We've known all this all season. We are Luke Shaw. How many times crosses did Luke Shaw put in the first half from 20 yards, 22 yards on the diagonal?
Yes.
He was crossing, and Postecoglou knew that. So he was very comfortable for Van der Ven. It was very comfortable for Romero, Porro, and Undogi. It was very, very comfortable for them.
But they played with 3 DMs in a way. They played with a shield.
Yeah, but when you come into a final, you've only got to win it 1-0.
Yeah,
it's not a Premier League game. It doesn't matter. There's no goal difference required. You've only got to score a goal, and then they get the goal, and they do something about it, don't they? They put themselves into a position where they're massively difficult to. They didn't attack us brilliantly well at all.
No, I don't think so. The only threat they had was they whipped in the crosses in front of goal, and that was on purpose.
Yes, yeah, they did that. Rebbe Bekir is
coming on purpose.
No, we have a super chat from Rebbe. I think he says he loves Man United. Amorim. Thanks, Ribby, for that, pal.
Mm.
That's good to see. We need that positivity. We do. We
Yes,
need that positivity.
big
But
up
you're
for that.
right. I mean, that reporter that called Postecoglou a clown in a press conference yesterday, he'll just be, if I was him, I'd retire. It's one of those. He's looked at what Chelsea did to us, and he's done exactly the same. He's made us play wide, and when we play wide, we were very too easy to play against.
Yeah, and when you play wide, but if you play slow and sloppy, it's easy to defend. We know football; it's about windows, open windows, and the open windows is the time is half of a second to, I would say, maybe 2, maximum 3 seconds. And if you don't react or do something in that, when the window is open, it closes, and then the chance is gone. So I felt that was a big problem. And also I want to go back to the tactical board. When we defended, especially in the first half against the crosses, I would say Masraoui fell too deep and Ahmad was a little bit too high. So in a way, and also on the other side, we couldn't block those crosses. I don't know why, but Pedro Porro, he had like 3 to 4 crosses after each other, whipped them in, and we couldn't stop the crosses. So
it's because Mark was out of position. When you look at the way that we should be setting up, you've got Dorgu, it should be slightly higher. He should be Shaw should be pushed out to the left. You got same with Mazzari, although Mazzari comes in on that particular if Porro's crossing from the right, then Dorgu stays there. But ultimately, Dorgu should be facing him up. Shaw should be backing him up. We should be in that position. Try getting through that. You're going to get through that fucking easy. It's that's all they've done to us. If you look at the type of position we put ourselves in there, it's very similar to what they did to us. They're never going to get through us, but it's all about movement. Football is about movement. It's about using your brain, using your eyes and your ears and your mouth, talking, communicating, looking, moving. And we just seem so static, and then we're clipping balls in. That if you clip a ball in, Spurs are just going to go bang, bang, bang. Just going to head it out for fun. That's all we did.
Yeah, and the crosses punished us at the end, and also Onana. Onana. He started the game by miscalculating a cross from Porro, and luckily Masraoui defended the back post, so it didn't start with a Onana calamity in the 10th minute of the game. But again, it's small things like that. I think Onana had a couple of times big mistakes. One was when Euro came back and Onana didn't leave his line, so
he didn't. He didn't.
It forced Lenny Euro, a 18, 19-year-old, in the Europa League final into a very difficult position.
He did the same with Dorgu. He did the same with Dorgu. Dorgu takes it on his chest. I'll take that, Dorgu. Believe it. I'll take it.
Yeah. Jonathan is in the house. Manchester.
Nice to see you, man.
Yeah, good to see you. If you haven't smashed a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel. We will try to do our best and break down the game from a tactical point of view. So the switch of play, I think we started good, but we stopped. I don't know why we stopped by switching the play. We did it in the beginning of the game and a little bit at the end of the first half. But besides that, we couldn't switch the ball. And I also think it was because Spurs overloaded our midfield too, because the only one who are capable of switching the ball from one side to the other side are these two guys. And when you are up against 3 defenders like this, where's the last one?
There's Sarr, isn't it?
Yeah, there's Sarr. So they got overloaded, and even Richarlison was when you look at his heat map, I think he worked a lot in this area, especially in the first half.
He was poor, Richarlison, but we allowed them to do that, and this was This is what we were talking about on Monday night. Was not allowing them to push on us, and we must push on them. And we, Ahmed gets the ball, and he just doesn't. He just didn't know what to do tonight. He was a bit lost on what do I do when I get the ball. You hit the byline or you hit the 18-yard box. That's what you do. You don't go to the 18-yard box.
If you look at Ahmad's heat map, it will be mostly in this area.
Yeah, it's not good enough.
But he's in number 10. It should be here. You could see right away when Xerxes came on. He was not the 10, but he operated and all the layoffs, and he actually created stuff by being able to keep the ball.
Well, what did we say?
There was a pocket here. But
what did we say in terms of the way that we wanted Ahmed and Mount to play? Crisscross.
Yeah.
I don't know if you still got it. You probably haven't. But the way that we put the circle in the box, that's how we wanted them to play. We want them to crisscross. So we wanted Ahmed in there.
But the problem was Masraoui never overlapped.
He never went past him. No.
He was behind him. So the ball went to Ahmad. Ahmad was set up 1 against 2 or 1 against 3. And he had one chance that was play the ball back to Masraoui. And Masraoui can't do anything. So why did Amorim set up Masraoui and Ahmad on the same side?
I don't know.
Terrible.
It was the same with Mount and Shaw, by the way. Dorgan. Yeah, by the way.
I agree. So I don't have anything, from the tactics, and the only thing I can say is as soon as we put on Garnacho, Postecoglou did something, because the Spurs, they played with a back 4, as we see here. But as soon as we put on Garnacho, we stretched him out, and he reacted right away. He subbed off Richarlison and put in 1 extra centre back, and they started.
What was his name?
Yeah, Dancer.
Dancer. Yeah, Prancer. Yeah, they put him on. Yeah.
So he reacted right away, and we couldn't do anything. And suddenly Spurs had only one attacking threat, but we still played with the back 3 or a back 5. He should have reacted right away and countered Postecoglou's move and moved Maguire up. But he waited 10 minutes. So we only played the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's too late.
10 minutes too late. He should have brought Maino on or Agati on with 10 or 15 minutes into the second half. You make the changes at the right time.
From the 75th minute until the 85th minute, we had a lot of pressure. We had a lot of crosses, but the only guy in front of goal was Xerxes alone against 3 centre-backs.
Well, he knew what they were going to do. He knew we were going to do that, though. Postecoglou knew that. That's why... he knew exactly how Amorim was going to play and how we were going to play. I always say to you, there's only a finite space available on a football pitch, but there are little spaces and pockets. If you do something, if you take a risk and a gamble, you absolutely take somebody on. Take one player out of the game. Give yourself a tiny little bit of space. But we just don't do that, Jarvis. We don't do it.
I have to be honest with you. It was an Amorim mare tonight.
It was terrible.
How he saw this, it was Masraoui as wing back all game. Garnacho, he was benched with a late sub. We had no overlaps for Diallo.
Garnacho
he had outswinger corners all the time against Vicario, who is 5'5".
I know.
Outswinger corners against the short.
I know. We've got, you bring, like I say, you take no passengers in the final. Hoyland should have been off at half time. Mount should have been off at half time. And you either bring on Agate, you bring on Mainu, but you definitely bring on Garnacho. That's what you do. You have to do that. You bring on Xerxes. I think Boxing Straight talks right. I still don't think Ahmed's fit. I tend to agree with him. I think he's
Mason Mount. No, Mainu.
Ahmed. No, Ahmed. I don't think Ahmed's fit still 100%. I think Boxing Straight talks right. He didn't look great to me. But you've got to try. You have to take shots. You've got to take chances in football matches, Jarvis. Tomorrow, when we've got this tournament, whether we win, lose or not, our team will take chances to win games. Even if we lose, we're going to take chances to win games of football.
Yeah. And then A2 Set is coming. Z is coming in and say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results.
Yeah.
You need to change it up, but his toolbox isn't the biggest one with this group of players. That's in his defense.
No, his toolbox isn't. You're right. We're not great, are we?
Stu, do you want to analyze some footage? Look at some clips.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, let's do that.
And basically, there's a lot of Man United chances, us not scoring and being toothless. But let's give it a go.
I apologise to the devilish tacticos. I just can't see the wood for the trees tonight, chaps.
That's okay. Really we are all disappointed. So, first chance was the 16th minute of the game. There was an Ahmad shot corner coming in front of the box, and here you see Ahmad receiving the ball, but you see Spurs defending really well. And I just want to say, it's the first time we had an in-swinger corner kick from Bruno.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
But you can see Vitar, he struggles so much on when it came like this, and it gave us a chance right away.
He was aiming for Slabby. But that's a beautiful touch that is by Ahmad. Absolutely beautiful. But Spurs were deep. Spurs were late coming out. Have you noticed the two players either side of Vicario? They were late coming out. And just hold on one sec, guys. Tiddler's calling. So I just need to speak to my son. I'll just put myself on mute 1 sec.
That's okay. Henrik always come in and say, I refuse to watch United if Onana and Højlund starts next season. Yeah, I don't know who you're going to sign. I think the Jokeres deal is off now. There's no Champions League. I think we can look far after Martinez in goal. I don't know how this will play itself out, but time will tell. And Boxing Straight Talk say, I think Amorim's toolbox is better than Postecoglou's toolbox. Yeah, maybe that's a good point. A quote from Amorim is say, in this moment, I'm not going to be here defending myself. It's not my style. I can't do it. So, yeah. Crazy Eddie also agrees with Boxing Straight Talk. It cannot be the toolbox, my friends. This wasn't Liverpool or Arsenal we're playing. It's a team that survived relegation that we lost to. Yeah. You might be right. Rashmanos, next season we will see Delap up front. And we have Carl Pearson coming in from X. Say, who do we sign now? I guess Jokeres is off the list. Budget will be significantly reduced, and attracting players will almost be impossible. As Rosmano mentioned, Delap, maybe he's a possibility. But it's maybe this is the reset we need. Trying to think of the positives. Let's go to the Stu. Are you ready?
Fucking kids. I'm gonna have to cut short in about 10 minutes. I'm sorry, I'm on a mercy mission. I've got to go and rescue Junior.
Okay.
He's I apologize, but I've told him to wait. Bloody kids.
Okay, cool. Okay, let's just look at his chance and Ahmad first.
What we're saying there, that first touch by Ahmad was absolutely brilliant. And I couldn't quite work out whether he was trying to cross the ball or shoot. So I don't know what you were saying about that, because there's a beautiful play there. And I don't know whether he was shooting or crossing, but either way, we weren't far enough up, if that makes sense. We were never going to get caught offside, because look at the two defenders by Vicario. So we're never going to get caught offside. So why didn't we push in?
It was Højlund again, It's always Højlund in a situation like this.
Where would you have been as a striker?
You have to push up almost up until the goalkeeper.
The chances of you being offside are absolutely zip, aren't they? Sorry, my phone's going again. Hello,
Kyle's picking me up. So.
Okay, great. All right, call me when you're home. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, okay. That's okay.
Ta-da. I'm off the hook.
Okay,
I'm off
good,
the hook.
good.
Kids. So what I would do, if you could stop it there, if you could go back before he shoots, or is it cross? Guys, I'd love to know if you think it's a cross or a shot, by the way. Look where they are. Look where they're two. Why is he in line at least with, I presume that is Romero or Van der Ven?
Yeah.
Because if he's a yard up, he scores.
Yeah, and when you look at it here, when the shot goes off, always tenths of a second too late.
Always attack the goal.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Højlund again. Højlund. So it's like this, you know. We can't speak.
Trev wants me gone.
I'm done with the.
Trev wants me gone. He wants me gone. Trev's give me the red card. Well done, Trev.
Big up, Trev.
Rushmano has pushed in some quotes from Amorim if you want them.
Okay, just start them and I will read them up afterwards.
Okay.
Thank you, Rushmano. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, let's move this up again. So here again, another chance in the beginning of the game. We are in the 29th minute. It's an Ahmad chance. It's 1 against 1. And look at this situation. He's 1 against 1, not 1 against 2 or 3. There is space for him to run into.
Take him.
And right away, you know, Ahmad. I think this is a big chance too. Maybe his decision making could have been better, but you know, when you dribble at that pace,
when he got in between the two, I would have liked a bit of a dink cross when he got in between the two, but he cut back on himself and he got the shot away there. Just a little dink cross. It was nice play to go back on yourself and cross the ball, but I'd have liked a dink shot really.
Yeah, and again we have the Danish calamity in front of goal.
It's like new nickname, the Danish calamity.
They're a little bit too late again. Yeah,
too late. Vicario should have been against the post.
Yeah. Let's see. But now let's try to analyze the goal. I came in a little bit late on this clip because Bruno had a pass to Casemiro and it was intercepted. It was a sloppy pass.
One of the Delvish Tacticos, Amadis Free from that dude, absolutely brilliant, talked about Bruno's error in this earlier on. I did see the comments, and you are right. I mentioned it because we hadn't talked about it at that time, but you were 100% right about that, by the way.
Yeah. So it was Bruno. We lost the ball. If you look at this clip, here's Bruno. Here's Casemiro.
Yeah.
And I think it's Sarr running up their half space on the left side. But we look okay in this. We look in okay shape here. We have a back three line intact. We have our wing back in place.
Yeah, we're not too bad, actually.
We are in a good position. But there's a run coming. There's a move coming in here, I think, in behind. And it forces Bruno down to be the first defender, I believe. So it's a clever run here from, is it Solanke?
That one's Solanke, yeah. Yeah, because Brennan Johnson's at the back, isn't he?
No, there's the run.
Is that Johnson? That's Brennan Johnson.
And, as I said, always deep runs disturbs organized defenses. So we always need to come with deep runs.
Yeah.
And now you see him whipping the cross. So is this Brennan Johnson? Or
That's Brennan Johnson, yeah, I think.
Yeah.
It's hard to see.
Let's just slow it down and we can try to analyze what happens.
Oh, no, Brennan Johnson. That's Johnson.
Yeah. So, again, when the cross comes in, maybe should Maguire be able to defend the first post better?
I'm not actually, Jarvis, I'm going to say something that's going to shock you here. I've got no idea what he's doing. I don't know what he's doing there.
Harry Maguire.
And I don't know what Luke Shaw's doing, and I don't know what Lenny Yoro's doing, and I don't know what Onana's doing, because I'd have had Onana coming to smash everybody out the fucking way.
Mm.
I would, wouldn't you? Look at the flight of the ball. Look at the trajectory. If you are on the line,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 against 2.
Yeah, but we're talking about yardage again, aren't we? Look at the yards. They've got 6 yards to do something, to work in. They shouldn't. They should have 3 yards to work in, 2 yards to work in. If Onana comes out, he stops it.
Yeah,
he stops it, but he doesn't. And I don't know whether I should go in on Onana on that one, but for me, I don't know what Maguire was doing. I don't know what Yoro was doing. And I don't know what Shaw was doing. I don't know what they were doing, Jarvis. From a defending point of view, you can't. It's criminal.
well,
It's absolutely criminal.
Why is Luke Shaw letting Brendan Johnson past him in this instance?
Exactly. But why isn't Yoro? Why isn't Yoro there? Push it back on. Why isn't Yoro where he is there? And I know people are going to say he's going to play him on side. Fair enough. But if Yoro stands side by side with Brendan Johnson, that's it. Game over. Yes, he's playing him on side, but it's still game over. He's not going to. Brendan Johnson isn't going to get through.
The only thing I can say, maybe in Luke Shaw's defense, he expects Maguire to clear the ball, so it comes a little bit suddenly.
Agreed, but ultimately, you've also got to expect the unexpected. Because I've done that. I've been caught out like that before, and I've said, "Well, hold on, I expected you to hit the ball," but and they've come around and said, "Well, I didn't." Yeah, I know.
But I always feel like these two guys, like Maguire here and Luke Shaw, they are in a way calamity brothers. They tend to mess things up in a way, and it always looks like poor communication.
Why hasn't Lenny Yoro got his arm in front of him?
Yeah.
Again, Brendan Johnson, he can't get through. He's got to push Yoro out the way to do it. Oh, this is elite level defending, Jarvis. We're talking about. We're not talking
Sunday League. No,
talking Sunday League here. That's elite level defending. You know what you're doing. What would Romero be doing in that position?
Yeah, head it out.
He'd have had his arm. He'd have been blocking somebody. He'd have been using somebody. Vicario would have been 3 yards off his line.
Yeah. And again,
it's a very poor goal.
How do we let that cross in? If let's just try to analyze the situation with the cross, because there's a deep run coming here. I don't even know who this is. Is it Bentancur?
I think it must be Bentancur, that one, yeah.
And we have Bruno here, we have Mason Mount here, and Casemiro.
It all started here in our in and around our 18-yard box, because we allowed I can't remember who it was to have the ball. If you go back to the very beginning, so we lose it. Bruno's lost it. Yeah. So watch his run. If you play it now. So they work it quite well.
Yeah.
If you keep playing it, they work it quite well. Again,
he moves like this, and then he moves in.
Yeah, we're kind of okay there, but they work it quite well there. But it's when they pick up the ball on the edge of our box here. Why isn't Bruno tackled? Why hasn't he gone straight? How's he got out of there? Bearing in mind the ball's ended up back on the byline.
He's with his back against the goal. He's surrounded by 4 Man United players.
Exactly. How's he got the ball to the touchline?
And Masraoui is here trying to defend the cross.
How do we not close him down?
Yeah.
Masraoui is 5 yards away. He should be 2 yards at best.
Look at him walking in pressing. Pressing.
It's terrible. But Bruno is, bearing in mind, Bruno's allowed him to. I know people will say again, you're absolutely right. He's in the penalty box, but you could still get a foot in.
Yeah,
you can still do something with it. Try to do something. Again, what would what would Romero be doing there? If Romero was Bruno and Bruno was Bentancur, what would Romero be doing there? He'd be all over Bruno like a fucking rash.
But the thing is, Stu, it's not like we weren't warned, because Pedro Porro had like
Here we
five
go. A barman.
five dangerous crosses.
Here you go. Barman's said it exactly how it is. Ange the clown, which he was called, put our backline under pressure and we will falter. He's absolutely right. Absolutely right. It was a comedy of errors, that goal. Comedy of errors. It's just, again, when you look at it, if you were to look at our position, Jarvis, you wouldn't be overly upset.
No, we look in good shape.
Yeah, because you would expect Maguire to clear it for a start, and you'd expect Euro to get hold of Johnson, and I'd expect again Anana to be 2 yards, 3 yards further out, so he can come and claim.
Yeah. Stu, let's look at it from a better angle for you guys to see. Let's just try it. I won't go on and on about this goal forever.
But again, look at good. I like this angle. Yeah,
look at Masraoui here and how, and even Bruno. He should be able to at least block the cross.
Well, let me say one thing right straight away. Mazzari, if you go back to where he was, okay. Now I understand why Mazzari was looking at where the play developing, right? But he should have turned around and been exactly a bit further up to the touchline to where Mount is, if that's Mount, whoever that is, by Bruno. I can't quite say it.
This is Mount.
Sorry. So you've got Bruno. You've got, I can't think who that is now.
It's Lenny Yoro.
So Mazzari should be exactly where, in line with Lenny Yoro.
Okay, so you want him
he
here?
He should be there. He should be there, and he should also be facing towards. He should be on the side, so we should have his back to the byline. He should be facing. So when the ball goes out to, or if it goes out to, or the ball goes into his area, he can either try and cut it out, or he can get across quicker. But he doesn't.
Yeah. There's a tweet from Fabrizio. Okay, I will check it out, Rosmano. Thank you.
Yes,
thank you.
Thanks, Rosmano.
So again, the ball goes out to Sar, and I think the pressure is poor.
Yeah, but look at him. Look where he's gone. Look where Bentancur is. Look where we are. Look where Bruno is. Bruno didn't fucking follow him.
Yeah.
Mazzari doesn't go. But stop it there. One sec. Sorry. Stop it there. 1 sec. We were in a really good position at the time. If you go back, we're in a really good position there, actually. Now, was that Dorgu? It's Dorgu on the back stick.
Dorgu is on the back stick.
Yeah. So Dorgu's there. So Dorgu's got hold of him by the looks of it.
Yeah.
He's got hold of Brennan Johnson by the looks of it there. So how the fuck's he got through between Shaw and Dorgu?
It's a brilliant cross. We have to give it to Sar. But
look, it's a great cross. It is a great cross. But if you go back again from there, if Anana was 2 yards, 3 yards up, okay, and he stays there, follow it through, he stops it.
Should be in this position.
Yeah, he stops it.
Didn't we talk about this right after the Chelsea game too?
We did.
Anana's positioning.
Yeah,
he's like glued to his line.
We did. Watch where Johnson there. If he's there, he stops it. I mean, I'm not a goalkeeper, guys. I'm not a goalkeeper. I really aren't. But I know where I want him. Why is he backtracking? He started to come out and he started backtracking. When you're on the line, you've got where do you go with it? You don't know where to go with it. I'm not a goalkeeper, guys. I'm not. But we just absolutely ripped that goal to pieces, Jarvis. We torn it to fucking shreds.
Yeah. Boxing Straight talks about immature decisions from our manager.
He does, but the players have been immature as well.
Yeah.
Today, guys. But Boxing Straight talk, you're right, mate.
I see some new faces. Jungle United.
He's a man of my own heart. There's only 7 years between us. He's 48, bless him. Jungle. I'm a fan since, I was born in 70, so I was a fan at, I suppose you could say 77, because that's when I went to my first match, Wolves away at the Old Molineux, got beat 2-1. But great to have you on board. Great to have you on board. He's probably my age then. He's probably my age, 55.
Yeah. It's a good comment. We are also Jonathan Katila coming in. Big up. You say I lose my temper.
Yeah, sorry, Jonathan. Yeah, we know, pal.
Well, this is what our channel is about. Trying to break down everything that goes on in the game.
Stick with us, please.
Big up, Genghis. Big up. Onana's sausage always sticks to his line. Yeah,
true.
And Danny B also say honestly, under 14 schoolboy level does it better, and sometimes it feels like it. Yeah. So yeah, it's not. And the sort they say no. If it's off his line, the cross can be over his head. The defense didn't do the job. Goal scored. Simple. Okay. I'm not a goalkeeper. I'm not. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right.
Yeah. I would have liked him. I would have liked Onana a couple of yards up for me as a centre half, but I'm not a goalkeeper. So.
And we also have Graham Wade coming in and say, "Got what you deserve tonight, pinning your hopes on one game." And yeah, that's probably true.
I'll argue with that. Yeah. Who do you support, Graham? By the way, it'd be great. Thanks for joining us. Much appreciated.
Yeah. And Bad Time is very upset. You're not alone. We will try to do this our therapy session and try to feel better in 30 minutes time when we're done with the show. Yeah,
it's not working. It's not working.
Spurs, they didn't have much. They had the goal, but they didn't have many chances. They had a couple of counterattacks, I would say, and we can have a look at this one. Let's bring it up. Just want to say hi to Maximum Potential coming in and say Radcliffe will now sack more lunch ladies and cut the Wi-Fi to save money.
Yeah, he probably will.
Wouldn't surprise me. Okay, let me just try to slow it a little bit down. Spurs are on the counter. I think it's Udogi here on the ball.
Yeah.
2 against. It's almost like a 2 against 1 on Lenny Yoro because Casemiro has no chance catching up.
Yeah, he was absolutely knackered.
So let's try to analyze Lenny Yoro's defending right here. How he closed the gap. I think he did well.
He did, yeah. No, he did really well.
His recovery pace is really good.
Yeah, no, his recovery pace was well. I think Solanke was dead at that point, wasn't he? Dead on his feet. He didn't have much in the tank, did he? It wasn't a great ball by Ndogi.
But out of the the two options for Lenny Yoro is to stick with Solanke and let Udogi go for a shot himself.
Yeah, he did well. Yoro did, yeah. He's very good when he's on his own at the back. Very good. And he would have got across there, I think, as well. So,
yeah.
I know he does well. Welcome, Jungle, mate. 55 as well. 55 years young as well, pal. Great to see you. Great to have you on board.
Yeah. Happy to see new faces tuning in.
Yeah, it's great. Great to see some new faces. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
If you're new, please subscribe to the channel and smash the like. Let's see.
Jonathan doesn't want to talk to his girlfriend. What to talk to my girlfriend about.
Okay, so now the Van de Ven save on the line. We are talking about the 67th minute of the game. The Højlund header was a free kick from midfield. At first, when I saw this, I was thinking for myself, why do you put the free kick straight on the goalkeeper?
Yeah,
From that area. But luckily for us, Vicario is a calamity goalkeeper, and it gave us a big chance. So let's just see it first. Ball comes in, Vicario loses the ball, Højlund header, and a beautiful save on the line. I don't know if you can see it, guys. I will try to slow it down a little bit. So in a way, you see how Spurs defended. They all wanted the ball, both the defender and Vicario. Happens sometimes. Two men in the duel for the same ball. Goes out. Højlund is not placed in the right area. It's a little bit too far ahead, so he needs to go behind to make the header. He gets the header off, and it's a great save from a defender. Yeah. Is that a regular Stu Wally clearance?
Oh, of course. I would have actually. I would have taken it down on my chest, flopped it up onto the old shoulder, dropped it on the head, and then dropped it down my body, and then wandered off with it. No messing.
Okay.
The interesting thing about Van de Ven and what's actually key to this is
Yes.
that Van de Ven's seen this before, because I want you to watch him and watch his movement.
Okay.
And watch the lack of brain from any Man United player that didn't recognise the movement of Van de Ven.
Is this Van de Ven or is this Van de Ven?
No, he's there. Yeah. You watch him.
Is him?
Yeah.
The closest one. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Here he goes. There he goes.
Yeah, that's actually
he
brilliant.
knew it was going to happen. He's seen it before. He just worked it. And yet, not one of our players realised where Van de Ven was going and followed him, because we wouldn't have been offside.
Mm-hmm. So this is
And
Van
we
de
don't
Ven.
do that. Yeah, there he is. And just watch him. He knows Vicario. The chances of Vicario making a mistake is big. So he stays there and goes back in. You know, that's knowing your goalkeeper, understanding how to defend, understanding what to do in a situation like that. And we don't do that.
Mm.
And again, when you go back to it, look at him there. Not one of us has made a move to go with him.
Mm.
And you're not, you know, he's the furthest man back.
Mm. You know, that's brilliant defending. I have to give it to him. That's fantastic defending.
Would I have handballed here if I couldn't have got across? Yeah, yeah. Actually, I probably would have. I might have done that, because the chances of a save are 50-50. If I couldn't have got across, I would have. Yeah, probably handballed it. You get sent off, but why not? You know, you do everything you can to prevent the goal. My issue is, you could see Van de Ven go back to it to the goal, and we didn't follow him. We didn't do anything with him. I mean, you know, credit where credit's due. It's great defending.
Yeah.
Personally, it's really good defending on it. It's just he knows there's a knowledge in there. There's a knowledge that Vicario's done that before, so I'm not going to risk it. It's really good defending. Not the bicycle kick is good in itself, but it's the intelligence that he shows to get back.
Yeah.
He just knows what he's doing. He's seen it before, clearly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Bad time comes in and say a few Van de Ven. Oh, yeah, you answered that question.
Why not? Most Manchester United fans would be livid if we'd done that. But at the same time, at least we tried. At least somebody's tried to do something.
Yeah. By the way, guys, we are on 36 likes.
We are, yes.
We are sitting here slaving in the kitchen on a night like this. It's not always easy. So please can do us a favor, smash the like,
Yeah.
We are not Man United, by the way, so you can like us if you like.
Yes.
Yes.
Please like us. Yeah. If you don't like the club at the minute, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah. Question from Bathline. You might have talked about this already, Jarvis, but why were there none of our standard cutbacks tonight?
Ganacho really wasn't around to do it, was he? And Ahmed just doesn't do it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
it's true.
Really, bath time. He tried it a couple of times, didn't he, Ganacho, when he came on, but they were aimless tonight. I mean, he offered something, with his trying to cut in and shoot him, but
Mm.
we just weren't there at all, were we?
No. But in a way, I would say also you got to remember the Spurs played with 3 DMs in front of their centre backs, so they completely shut down the area. There was no space for cutbacks again.
And it's also worth noting that if you have a look at when he cleared it off the line, there was a further Spurs defender behind Vicario, and there's not one Manchester United player anywhere near the goal line.
Mm.
Can't score goals if you're not in there.
No. And we had a second shot with Lenny Euro, but nothing.
Yeah, chances scoring there were difficult.
Let's see how many clips I have. We are now in the 90th plus 6 minutes. It was desperation time because we had the ball, but we didn't produce anything. So
Produce nothing.
Let's see. Look at this chance. Lenny Oro, but now we have Xerxes coming on the pitch, and Xerxes, I think he did better in 20 minutes than Højlund did for 70 minutes.
Xerxes did all right, actually, didn't they? Yeah, did okay when he came on.
He makes things happen. That's what you would like to see from the. And there's a good cross from Masraoui, but Bruno couldn't make the header. But it's a good run, deep runs. That's what I want to see more.
That was nice. It was a good run. It was a good cross. I'd like to see Mazzari take it a couple of extra yards. He had tons of space to operate in, but he didn't. But he got the crossing. So,
but again, when we have players who know what to do, Xerxes dropping down, laying it off to Masraoui because there's an open pocket in this space, and Bruno actually coming in deep, we started to create something. I don't know, always like this. When we go into desperation mode, we start playing football. But it's a little too little, too late.
I'd like to see Mazzari push this a bit. Look, Spurs were caught for once, didn't quite know what to do. Van der Ven was caught, he was betwixt and between, didn't know what to do. He was going to get two things were going to happen. He was going to get taken out by Basuma. Or is that Basuma or is that Dance?
Yeah, it's Basuma, I believe.
It's Basuma. He was going to get taken out by Basuma, and we would have had a good free kick. Or he did what he did, and he took it early and deep, and Bruno just couldn't direct his header, could he?
No. And we also have
Højlund in the back.
Dorgu and Garnacho coming in.
And we got Garnacho in the back. Yeah.
So maybe he was trying to hit it on the back post.
Possibly, but you've got an extra 2 yards, in my opinion, 2 or 3 yards, in my opinion, to really deal with it. It was a lovely cross. I think Bruno didn't realise he had that much time, but he missed by a country mile, didn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know what Vicario was diving for. Good night, Ghostface, mate. Thanks very much for joining.
Big up.
Yeah, big up, Ghostface. It's a tough one tonight, fellas. Tough one tonight.
Yeah, it will take me a lot of time to go get over this loss, but it's at the end of the day, it's just football. It's not life or death.
Nope. Like I say, it's all about there is no real pressure in football. It's easy compared to everyday life when you're struggling for money and stuff like that. So we'll always remember that, guys. Always remember that.
And the last chance that I have on the block is the bicycle kick. in the last minute on the goal.
Yeah.
So ball goes in. Onana is here in the duel. The ball goes up in the air and drops down inside the box. And both Garnacho and Casemiro fights for the bicycle kick. It goes outside, and that was it. That was the end of the end of the game.
Yeah.
So that was basically all our big chances we produced. 0.85 xg. No, what was it?
I don't know. I don't normally take any.
Yeah,
notice of it.
0.85 was everything we produced.
Yeah, well, I mean, that just summed it up, didn't it, really?
Yeah.
But anyway, Tottenham in the Champions League. We're out of Europe.
Yeah. So let's spend 5 minutes, reflect. Try
Should we
think
pull
of
up Rush's
positives.
Amorim texts? And did he say there was one from Fab as well?
Yes. Give me 2 seconds. Take a couple of comments, and I will.
So the guys are basically saying that Trev comes in with desperation through the whole game. Genghis is coming in with Danny Burger King gonna sponsor it. I'm not quite sure what he was referring to. Should have a pay cut for no European football. Really, totally agree. Ankit Godwani, you're new. Thank you very much, pal. And if I've butchered your name, I have a habit of butchering names on this channel, so please don't. Yokra is still coming to United. With sucker performance, no Champions League. Probably not, I would say. No, I would say there are other teams favoured for that. Bad time comes in and says the worst performance from United team in a final in my lifetime. At least we scored against Villarreal, correct?
Yeah, we did.
Barman says Amorim said he will do everything the way that he does it, and he is optimistic on what he does. Interesting. And Boxing Straight Talk, Amorim couldn't manage a win for. I quite like that one. That's quite good.
So this is what I could find. It's from Fab. He comes in. It's a statement from Ruben Amorim, and say, "I will not quit. I'm confident in my job, and I will not change anything. If the board or fans feel that I'm not the right guy, I will go the next day without any conversation about compensation. But I will not quit."
Okay.
Yeah. So Amorim won't back down. He will stay.
I kind of like that attitude.
Yeah.
I like the fact that he says, "I'm not interested in compensation. I'll just go." I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I don't know what he put in his statement. What did he put in his statement?
It's
Diogo Dallo. Diogo Dallo says, as players, we need to look at ourselves and see what we can do better every single day. Oh, I'm not interested in shit like that. The expectations are always high, but this, oh, fuck off. I mean, Jesus, come on.
Stu, I will challenge you about this game. What would you have done differently if you were in Amorim's shoes?
Have you still got my system?
Yes, but no.
Yes,
because I was on Lauren's channel yesterday, so I removed all the box and the circle.
I would have ran with what I spoke about on Monday and play that kind of 3-3 kind of 1 system and play narrow when we need to and wide when we needed to. But the 3-3-1, as we spoke about, forget Højlund, it would have enabled and it would have stopped and Doggy and stopped Porro from attacking down the right. It would have held them up. And all you can do in football is hold the opposition up. Even if you don't dispossess them, you make them go back. And if you think on occasions in the first half, how many times did we go back to Onana when we were in a position when we cross the halfway line, the ball comes back and it goes back to Shaw and then Shaw puts it back to Maguire and then it goes back to fucking Onana. So the interesting thing for me is if you play a different system that are not, a bit like Postecoglou did to us, it takes you 25 minutes to work it out. And by that, a quarter of the game's gone already. And it takes you, but by that time, though, the team with the system that you are trying to work out has got a foothold in the game somehow. And that's all Tottenham did. They just put a tiny foothold in the game. Yeah, they didn't score till late on, but they caused us problems. Yep. And we didn't do anything to compensate that whatsoever. He sticks to his principles, which is fine. Okay, go ahead. But he didn't do anything to compensate and say, hold on. They're playing with three in the middle. Mason, I want you at the tip. I need you at the tip of Bruno and Casemiro. I want Casemiro to still play the spine. And I need you and Bruno to cover in with Casemiro when we're in transition. Why didn't you do that? Why didn't Mason Mount notice that on the pitch? Why didn't Ahmad notice that on the pitch? Why didn't Bruno notice that on the pitch and say to Mason, I need you back in? Sorry, Ruben, talk to me about it at half time. I need him in here now. I need help in here.
Yeah.
Why didn't we do that? Why can't we do this as players? And this is what absolutely grinds my gears about our players. They don't see what happens in front of them. They've got eyes, they've got ears, and then we continue down the same old path all the time.
Yeah, but as a professional footballer, you should be able to adapt to the game. They're not robots. It's not just on the manager. You have to adapt to what's going on in front of them.
Open your eyes and try and work out for yourselves. I was going to say you told what to eat. Yeah, they are, aren't they? We know they are. But open up your eyes and make a decision on the pitch, and we didn't do that. I like the guys that say Postecoglou didn't do anything world beating tonight. He just pushed an extra body in that caused us problems because he knew we were lazy. He knew that Ahmad and Mount are lazy at times, and they're proven tonight. So I would have run with my system. I stand by my system, and it would have yielded a better result. I can tell you that for nothing. And I don't have a super license, Jarvis.
Yeah. Well, you know enough football. You don't need a super license.
Well, so and you've always said Amorim was stubborn. You always made that point very, very clear to people. Be prepared because he's stubborn. He's proven that today. So
I see there's a tweet out from Garnacho's brother.
Okay.
I'm just gonna upload it. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Rosmano sent me this, so it's probably worth reading out. Where am I here?
Why are you reading that?
Too much going on.
A Luke Shaw comment. I think definitely me. And I think all of us have to question ourselves tonight. Are we good enough to be here? There's a simple answer to that one, pal.
This one from Kevin Hatchard. He said getting rid of him, Amorim, would actually be one of the dumbest Man United moves so far. By his own admission, this season has been a disaster, but the whole place is rotten. Was always going to take an age to turn it around, and tonight they just crumbled to enormous fear and pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably reasonable. And this one comes out from Garnacho's brother on Instagram. He said, working as no one else, helping every round, coming from 2 goals in last two finals just to be on the pitch 19 minutes and get thrown under the bus. Wow. So Garnacho's entourage is not happy with him not playing more.
Just a stupid thing to say.
Well, it tells you a little bit about what Garnacho is actually thinking, and I think he feels that he deserved to start this game and be a part of the final.
Yeah, well, my message to him is grow the fuck up and be a man and talk to the gaffer.
Yeah.
Don't get your brother or don't get your entourage to start crying out in public, because people like me people like Jarvis, the devilish tacticos, will see straight through and stick 2 fingers up to it. It's pathetic. Grow the fuck up. Grow up.
Crimea River.
Exactly, Crimea River. You know, if you'd scored, Mr. Garnacho, 30 goals this season, fair enough. Go ahead. But you haven't. Hoyland, you haven't. Anyway.
And Trevor said, snowflakes, yeah.
They are snowflakes. I love that, Trev. You're right, mate. They're all snowflakes. We can't say that. Are we allowed to say that? Or I don't know.
Sorry, I just read the comment. Yeah.
No, I don't know what you can say and what you can't anymore.
I'm too old.
But actually, Rushmano's right. Garnacho's been pushing for a... I mean, this is...
Yeah.
You know, you can't allow that. You can't allow that. Do you know what, Jarvis? I'd take him to Asia at the end of May. I'd say, fuck it, you're coming to Asia now. I was going to let you have a holiday, bollocks. Get on the plane. I would.
Yeah.
I would. Get on the plane. And do you know what else? I'd take Rooney's young lad, Kai. I know he's only 14, 15, but I'd take him because he's been playing phenomenal. I would take Obi Martin out there. I would take all the youngsters. But I would take as many of the first team as I possibly could. Fuck you. Honestly, you've got fuck you. It's off.
My question earlier about what would you have done differently, and a lot of people responded to that in the live chat. And
sorry, I didn't notice.
And Dan B said Xerxes could have come on at halftime, and we wouldn't have needed to run. We needed control, strength, and creativity against the low block.
Yeah,
True.
I like that. True. Yeah, Dan, you're right, mate.
Halftime say when it was clear that Spurs weren't playing a high line, I would take Rasmus off literally for anyone that can kick the ball.
He's right.
Put Shaw in Alman's position.
Yeah. Actually, that's quite interesting to pushing Shaw up, isn't it? I know we spoke about that on Monday, bath time. Jarvis raised it actually. And we did speak about it, but we kind of reasoned, actually, in the end, bath time, we didn't think Shaw would play.
No.
Jarvis was thought Lindelof would start, didn't you, pal?
Yeah, and I think maybe that would have been a better choice.
Yeah, you didn't want him, I know, but you thought.
No, it's about, for me, it was about getting Lenny Yoro on the left, so we would have a passer out from our left side. Yeah. And I think that will be helpful because then you can get Bruno going.
Yeah.
But with Luke Shaw, he only passes to Dorgu, and then it will stop. So Bruno struggled to get into the game. Let's see, and there was also this from Johnny K when it comes to. We will go to this afterwards, Stu. Johnny K also said for me, I would have started Ugarte and Casemiro and pushed Bruno up. I don't see any point playing Mount. He does nothing.
He did nothing today, Johnny K. Absolutely, mate. I text Jarvis early doors and said Mount's just lost. He was completely lost tonight. Didn't offer us anything.
And this one, you can read a comment from.
Just before you do that, I love this. Andrew Collins. I'm on my 7th rum and coke, and it's still painful. You are, Andrew. You are an absolute legend. Please get him down, you kid. Get him down. Enjoy.
Is it Tom Collins?
Is it Tom Collins? Sorry.
No.
Oh, Tom. We don't have Tom Collins. I don't think in the UK. Isn't that like a mixer or something?
Yeah, it's a mixture.
I don't
some
think
sour drink.
Maybe we do. I don't. But anyway, I do like that. Great one.
So I read out the comments from.
So Ruben Amorim from Rushmano again, quality on whether he should have started Alejandro Garnacho over Mason Mount. It's easy to say that now. Who missed a big opportunity in the first half in the semi-final? Garnacho. Well, anyway, what do you say to that then?
I'm always in for playing players on. Is it called merit?
Merit, yeah. You're in the team on merit, yeah.
Yeah, because your performance, how if you are in form, as I said with, for example, Lindelof, he's not our best centre back, but he's in form.
He was in form. No, but getting Lenny Yoro in was key, and I agree with you on that. I was 100% behind you on that one.
Yeah,
and maybe Matt Zari actually on right wing back. Might have been a better option for us. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, but we talked about just starting. If Dalot was fit, we would have started him right away.
We did say that. Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Is there any more to talk about?
Not really, pal.
No.
I think we're all fed up tonight,
Yeah.
mate. I think we're all fed up.
Yeah.
But thank you very much for coming out and supporting me and Jarvis, considering we're all fed up. Me and Jarvis have not been on our best form tonight. We apologise about that.
Yeah, and we missed the lick.
Catherine,
I agree.
That's correct. Yeah. But we are grateful. Yeah, okay. I'm not having good at his hairstyle tonight. No. Again, just what's the point? What's the fucking point in that? Do it in the summer holidays. Come back fresh with a new do.
There's also a new tweet out from Ruben Amorim from Fabrizio Romano. He said, "I'm confident in doing this job if the board lets me. And if you can see, I'm confident in my job. I will not change anything."
Well,
So,
it's
just putting the pressure on the board. He's taking the pressure away from himself, putting the responsibility on them. Back in.
Yeah, and good. He should. Naz has come in with a nice calming message. Great thing is we start over next season, fellas. We need to pick ourselves up and dust ourselves off. Absolutely, pal. Absolutely. Best comment of the night.
Big up, Naz. Big up, Naz.
Trev, we know you're broken, mate. We know you're broken. I'll send you one of my favourite mankinis, pal. You'll be all right once you receive that. But I know you're broken. You're pal.
Big up, guys.
Yeah.
Big up, guys. Okay, Alien Tenno, big up.
Yeah, big up.
Yeah. It's that's the end of the show. If you haven't smashed the like, please, and subscribe if you're new. We will be back probably Sunday. I don't know if it's we can talk about the Villa game. We will get battered 3-0 or something.
Probably.
Yeah. So we will see. But guys, girls, Broderick, big up coming in.
Big up.
Raman, Alien Tenno, Andrew Collins, Nas, Catherine, Danny B, all of you legends, Rushmano, Johnny K, staying with us on a night like this. 90 minutes of a breakdown therapy session. It's not much to say about the game. We will talk a little bit more about the game probably Sunday after another loss, and we will see. And maybe we will do a show just on where do we go from here.
We'll do that. Yeah, we'll be doing
and recover as best as we can. So thank you everybody for tuning in. It's been a poor night, poor result. But as they sing, we'll never die, be Man United.
Yeah.
Keep our flag waving high.
Riding high.
Yeah, that's how it is. Yeah.
Oh, Rushmano, Cooney deal incoming.
Yeah.
I think we should hear about that, shouldn't we? Maybe
they will try their best to paper over the cracks.
Yeah, and maybe tomorrow, perhaps.
Yeah. But it's good to show. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and we will see you on the next. Have a good night, everybody.
Protest on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think there is. Anyway, have a good night, everybody. Pete, I hope you're feeling better, mate, tomorrow. You're a good egg, mate. You're a good egg.
Bye-bye.